Sometimes the world tells you, you're only a girl. This story is dedicated to every girl who has ever been told she couldn't achieve her dreams. This is the story of Anaya, a young village girl who almost lost the future she dreamed of, until one person, her father-in-law, reminded her that dreams never truly disappear. In a peaceful village surrounded by green rice fields and dusty pathways lived a girl named Anaya. She was only 16 years old, but her dreams reached far beyond the small world around her. Every morning she walked several miles to school. Dust covered her feet, but her heart remained filled with determination. She loved studying, especially mathematics and English. Her teachers praised her dedication, and her classmates admired her intelligence. Whenever someone asked, "Anaya, what do you want to become when you grow up?" she would smile brightly and answer, "I want to become a teacher. I want every girl in our village to believe she can study and chase her dreams." She was the top student in her class. Her grades were excellent, and her hopes for the future were even greater. But life doesn't always allow dreams to unfold easily. One evening, her father returned home from the market with a serious expression. "Anaya," he said, "your marriage has been arranged. The family is respectable and you'll have a good life." She stood frozen. "Marriage? But Papa, my exams are next month. I still want to complete my education." Her mother quietly lowered her eyes. "The decision has already been made," she said gently. "It's time, my child. A daughter's real home is with her husband's family." That night, Anaya cried endlessly. She begged her parents to let her stay in school, but nothing changed. Her books were packed away. Her school uniform was folded for the final time, and just like that, the brightest student in school became a bride at only 16. Her new home was in another distant village. Her husband, Ravi, was gentle but reserved. Her mother-in-law was strict and expected perfection. Each day passed in cooking, cleaning, and countless household responsibilities. Her hands stayed busy, but inside, she felt empty. She missed her classroom. She missed her teachers. Most of all, she missed her dream. Late at night, she would quietly open an old notebook she had hidden inside a small box. Softly, she whispered, "I don't want to forget everything I've learned." She solved little math problems on scraps of grocery paper. She practiced English words from old lessons. Still, she felt completely alone. It seemed as though nobody cared about her dreams, or so she believed. One evening, her father-in-law, Mr. Dev, came home earlier than usual. He noticed a faint light shining from Anaya's room. Curious, he looked inside and saw her writing beneath the dim glow of a small lamp. "Anaya," he asked gently, "what are you doing so late?" She quickly hid the papers. "Nothing, Babaji. I was just writing." He smiled kindly. "There's no need to be afraid. I spent my life as a teacher. I can recognize a student when I see one."
He looked at the notebook. "You were studying, weren't you?" She lowered her head. "Yes, but it doesn't matter anymore. Those days are over." Mr. Dev looked at her with calm eyes. "And who decided that dreams end after marriage?" She sighed. "Everyone says a good wife should only think about her family." He replied softly, "And a good family should also care about a daughter's dreams."
Anaya looked at him in surprise. No one had ever spoken those words to her before. That night became the beginning of something new. Mr. Dev started bringing her old textbooks from his collection. Every evening, after the house became quiet, they sat together in the courtyard. "You were an excellent student, weren't you?" he asked. "Yes, Babaji's school was everything to me." "And what did you dream of becoming?" "A teacher." He smiled. "Then let's begin again. Dreams are never too late as long as your heart still wants to learn." From then on, he patiently taught her mathematics once more. He explained English grammar. He even gave her homework. Sometimes she laughed and teased him. "Baba Ji, you're just as strict as my old teachers." He laughed too. "And you're my favorite student." Months slowly passed. Ravi noticed that Anaya had started studying again, but he never stopped her. Instead, he respected his father's encouragement. One morning, Mr. Dev said, "Anaya, the nearby school is looking for someone to help young girls learn to read. Why don't you give it a try?" She hesitated. "But I'm not an actual teacher." He smiled warmly. "A true teacher needs knowledge and a kind heart. You already have both." Encouraged by his words, she decided to go. At first she felt nervous. She stumbled over a few words and the children giggled. But little by little her confidence grew. Within weeks, every young girl in the classroom adored her. They proudly called her Teacher Anaya. Soon the entire village heard about her. Parents who once believed girls didn't need education now began sending their daughters to school. People who had once asked, "What can a girl really do?" now proudly said, "We hope our daughters become like Anaya." Her classroom became a place filled with laughter, curiosity, and dreams. One evening, as she returned home, she found Mr. Dev waiting outside with a familiar paper in his hands. It was her old school certificate. He smiled. "I visited your previous school today." She looked at him with surprise. "I told them about your journey." "And?" "They want you to take an examination. If you pass, you can become an officially certified teacher." Tears filled her eyes. "Baba Ji, you did all this for me." He gently shook his head. "No, my child. You did this yourself. I only pointed you toward the door. You were the one brave enough to walk through it." From that day onward, Anaya studied harder than ever before. Night after night she revised lessons with Mr. Dev. Finally, examination day arrived. Her hands trembled with nervousness. Mr. Dev smiled reassuringly. "Don't be afraid. You've already become a teacher in your heart. This exam will simply prove it to everyone else." Several weeks later, a letter arrived. With shaking hands, she opened it. She had passed with the highest marks. She was officially a teacher. Tears streamed down her face as she ran toward Mr. Dev and hugged him tightly. "Baba Ji, I did it!" He smiled proudly. "No, we did it." Then he added quietly, "But the strength was always yours." Years passed. The little school where Anaya had first taught grew larger every year. Dozens of girls now studied there. Her husband proudly supported her. Her entire family celebrated her achievements. One afternoon, she noticed a small girl crying outside the classroom. Anaya knelt beside her. "My dear, why are you crying?" The little girl wiped her eyes. "My father says girls don't need to go to school." Anaya smiled gently. "I once heard those same words." She held the girl's hands. "But dreams can continue growing, even in silence. Promise me you'll never stop learning." The little girl nodded, drying her tears. That evening, Anaya stood beside her father-in-law, watching the sun slowly disappear beyond the fields. She softly asked, "Baba Ji, sometimes I wonder, what if you had never helped me?" He looked toward the glowing sky. "Then someone else would have." She looked at him quietly. He continued, "When a dream is genuine, life always finds someone to protect it." Together, they watched the sunset in peaceful silence, both filled with quiet pride. So, my friends, Anaya's journey reminds us that even when the world tells you no, never stop believing in the one person who says yes. Sometimes hope arrives from the most unexpected place. Sometimes all it takes is one person who believes in your light. If this story touched your heart, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and tell us in the comments about the mentor who helped you believe in yourself. And don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories just like this one. Thank you for watching. And remember, sometimes a single lesson, a single act of kindness, or one person's faith in you can change your life forever. This story may do the same for someone who needs it today.